What's going on, everyone? Moose here, Airguns of Michigan, and today we have our Discovery Optics ED. This is their PRS model 5 to 25 by 56 side focus illuminated reticle scope. This does have the Discovery Optics rings on it, which surprisingly are very nice. They really are. But let's not talk about just that, but I want to talk about the optic itself. I've had enough time now to have shot this thing, tested its repeatability, and man, I'll be honest, I thought this scope was going to fail. I really did. Listen, my hat's off to Discovery Optics. Really, you guys have stepped up your game to the next level, in my opinion. Is it a $1,500 scope and a $400 scope body? No. It is a great scope for that under $500. And maybe even a little bit higher, to be quite honest. The glass is incredibly clear. The reticle is very well made. The turrets on this thing are just, I'm telling you, they are just absolutely spot on. I've dialed this thing using my Strelok, and it's absolutely on the money. I did have to put in a little bit more information, but I was able to do it. The eye relief on it is good. The eye box could use a little bit of work, but it's really not that bad. I mean, honestly, if you set this scope up for your gun and you are the only person shooting it and it is dialed in for you where you're comfortable on your gun, this is a great optic. Now, is it going to be great if your buddy tries to shoot your gun? No, he's going to struggle, or she's going to struggle, and it's really just because of that tightness in the eye relief as well as the eye box. But I generally don't care whether or not my friend can shoot my gun. It's my gun. So, the throw lever for the magnification is, in my opinion, a little tight. But, to be honest, it's not so tight that it's unbearable. Everything on this scope, as far as the turrets, the parallax, the illumination, they are knurled so well that honestly, I mean, even the diopter is knurled. So whether you're wearing gloves or it's cold or it's wet, and you're trying to grab this thing with your cold, wet hands, it's not going to make any difference. You will absolutely be able to grip this. The one thing that I wish that it had, that it doesn't, but it is a PRS optical, is, maybe locking turrets. But the zero stop functions perfectly. I don't have any issues with the zero stop and its functionality. And like I said, repeatability wise, the thing is absolutely spot on. There is not a lot of play in the, so if I'm set at zero, rocking this back and forth, I mean, I don't even have a number in my head that would say how much this is moving. Is it moving? Barely. And when I say barely, please take into consideration that I mean almost not at all. Okay. I think that the eye cover on this thing is awesome. It just kind of comes with this little cap that just fits over the top of the eyepiece. And the only thing that I would say would be nice to add to this would be some kind of either magnet to where you could pull it off of there and simply set it on top of one of these and it would like lock to that so you don't lose it. I've not lost mine yet, but what I find myself doing is taking it out and putting it in my pocket. But I think it'd be kind of cool if if maybe it had like a magnet on it, and when you pulled it off of your eyepiece here, or your eyepiece, you could just like lock it onto that top piece, because it's all good. Or your side piece, or anywhere, or even up on on one of the rings. Just a good strong magnet would be just fine. And who knows, maybe I'll even find a round earth magnet and just, you know, glue that thing on there, and that way I don't lose my cap, because I like that thing. Flip cap in the front, just a stock flip cap. I mean, nothing special. This is what you would expect to see on almost any optic. This thing did come with a ton of extra stuff. Do you need all that stuff? Well, considering you got about 1.5 feet of sunshades for this thing, you probably don't need quite that many. But is it cool to have? Yeah, sure. I mean, it works. They all work. You got one short one, 2 long ones. You guys have seen the intro video, so you've seen all that. But like I said, functionality, repeatability, it does work. I did water bottle test this. For those of you guys that don't know what that means, let me see if I got a water bottle laying around. Basically, what I did was I zeroed the gun. I took a water bottle full of water, and I beat on, you know, the bell housing. I beat on the front of it. I beat on the back of it. And then, actually, and then even at that point, I moved the magnification down and back up. I don't have it on video because I wasn't recording when I did it. You just have to take my word for it. And the gun was still right where it should be. So, yeah, I mean, it's solid. You know, there's no sense in doing a drop test on it, but I did want to beat on it just to kind of, it's a PRS scope, right? This is something that is going to come in contact with, you know, barricades. You know, we've all gone to put our PRS or NRL gun through a ladder rung, and bam, you hit your scope right on the top, and whoops. You know, or you go to pick your gun up out of a ladder rung or an apparatus, and bang, it hits on the top of the apparatus. So I felt that it was important enough to cause some shock to the scope to see if it would hold up. I didn't gingerly hit this either. I hit it pretty good. You know, I wanted to know. They claim a warranty, so I figured, hey, if it breaks, no problem. I'll contact Discovery and have them replace it or repair it. So honestly, where does this thing fall in my repertoire of optics? Well, it is definitely a heavyweight scope, which I like. I know a lot of people have been out comparing it to the Arken. You know, similar scopes, you know, same, you know, this is 5-25, this is 6-24. This is a 50-inch, you know, objective. This is a 56-inch objective. I think there's something to be said. Now, is it going to take the place of my Arken? No. There is a special place for Arken in everybody's repertoire, if you ask me. But is this a contender in that below $500 price range? You bet your sweet ass it is. It is. It is. And, you know, it's not going to be for everybody. I'm sure there's people watching this video and they're shaking mad and they're just like, wah! They look like that chick in the Karen videos with the glasses going, you know, I mean, because they're just so angry that we're talking about a scope for under $500 that is a contender. Would I shoot NRL or PRS with this? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely I would. And as a matter of fact, this scope does normally go onto a gun that a buddy of mine is going to be shooting this year for NRL and PRS. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to. You know, the graduation marks in the crosshairs or in the reticle are, I mean, they're good. I mean, if I dial 2 or I hold 2, it seems to be pretty consistent. I am shooting an air gun, so, you know, wind is a little bit more of a factor. It's not, I'm not shooting a Creedmoor at, you know, 100 yards or 500 yards or whatever. I'm shooting an air gun. And the gun that this was on is shooting lightweight slugs, so I have to take into consideration a little bit of wind drift, things like that. But overall, at distance, if I zero it at 50 and I use my holdovers at 100, it is spot on. So, great job. Seriously, Discovery Optics, thank you very much for sending this out. You know, I've had this thing for, a couple of months now, and I have shot it often. It is something that I definitely want to start doing more and more with some of these optics, is spending more and more time with them. You know, not just talking about my initial thoughts, but talking about the longevity of them. So we'll bring you guys another video probably around the end of the year, once this thing's been out and done some competition and been shot, you know, considerably. You know, I mean, honestly, I'm going to be 100%. My 6-year-old is, I don't know if I would say a prodigy, but he's a heck of a shot for being 6. And I actually thought about topping one of my guns with this scope, just because I think that it is, the reticle's big enough. The only concern that I might have is, like I said, that eye box. You know, he's got to be right behind it. Otherwise, you know, he's going to get those darker apparitions moving in from the side, which sucks. We really don't want that. But it is an optic that I feel has a bright enough image. It can really reach out in that magnification. Is it really 25 magnification? I don't know. It's really close. It is really close. And I don't exactly know how to measure that. So if somebody knows how to measure if something is actually 25 magnification or if it's, you know, actually just like 22, please drop that in the comments down below, because I'd love to know how that works. You know, but overall, a solid scope. So if you're interested in one of these Discovery optics, there's a link in the description down below, or you can click it on it and it takes you over to the place where you can pick them up. So anyway, with that being said, I'm Moose. This is Airguns of Michigan. This is the Discovery ED PRS 5-25 by 56 side focus illuminated reticle badass scope. Till next time, be good to each other, and God bless.